Good morning, all of you. Myself, Dr. G.B. Shenge, Assistant Professor, College of Agriculture, Baramati. Today, we are going to discuss about the integrated nutrient management and water management in soybean crop. This is the exercise number 10-11. In this exercise, first is the exercise number 10. Title of this exercise is Study of Integrated Nutrient Management in Kharif Crops. It is also called as INM, means Integrated Nutrient Management, meaning is integration of all the fertilizers, that is organic and inorganic sources, for improving the soil fertility or for maintaining the soil fertility or to reduce the soil pollution. That is called as integrated nutrient management. The combination or combined use of inorganic fertilizers and organic material which is useful or helpful in maintaining the crop productivity, soil fertility and especially the physical, chemical and biological properties of the soil. This is the meaning of integrated nutrient management. The concept of integrated nutrient management is to limit the unfavorable exploits of soil fertility and plant nutrients, or in other words, the maintenance of status of soil fertility and plant nutrients at an optimum level for sustaining the desired crop yield in integrated manner. That is called as integrated nutrient management, or the appropriate combination of inorganic fertilizers, manures, compost, crop residue and biofertilizers according to the system of land use and ecological, social and economical condition. That is called as integrated nutrient management. In simple words, integrated nutrient management means combined use of inorganic and organic fertilizers for maintaining the soil fertility. That is called as integrated nutrient management. In the organic manures, along with the use of biofertilizers, which helps in reducing the dose of fertilizers, which turns in reduce the cost of cultivation and help in improving the soil health. In the integrated nutrient management, inorganic fertilizers and organic sources are used. In the organic sources, biofertilizers are also used, and by using the biofertilizers it increases the yield of crop and it also maintains the soil health, and due to that it reduces the cost of cultivation. Due to the increasing the yield, it reduces the cost of cultivations, and which is helpful to the farmers, which it also helps in improving the soil health. Okay, this then see the components of integrated nutrient management. There are three major components of integrated nutrient management. First is inorganic fertilizers, second one is organic sources, and third one is biofertilizers. See the first component, that is inorganic fertilizers. Inorganic fertilizers, in the chemical fertilizers are used like urea, MOP, SSP, DAP, Supla, etc. These are the chemical fertilizers which are used in inorganic fertilizers. In the inorganic fertilizers should be applied to the soybean crop at the rate 20-40-40 or 50-75 45 NPK kg per hectare at the time of sowing of crop. The recommended dose of fertilizers for the soybean crop is 20-40-40 or 50-75-45 NPK nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium per kg per hectare. This is the RDF for the soybean crop, which is applied at the time of sowing of crop. Then second component, that is organic sources. In this component, the organic sources are used like green manuring, biofertilizers, crop residue, etc. First, in the organic sources, see the first point, that is green manuring. Green manuring means the green manure crops are sown like sunham, dhencha, etc. on the field or in the farm, and which are buried into the same field. That is called as green manuring. In the green manuring, the leguminous and non-leguminous green manuring crops are used. Leguminous green manuring crops, example There is Dhencha Sesbania. This is the stem nodulating Sesbania rostrata, cowpea, sunhemp, berseem, and cluster bean, gawar. These are the leguminous green manuring crops, and non-leguminous green leaf manuring crops. The example of non-leguminous manure crops is maize, currants, subabul, and gliricidia. These are the example of non-leguminous manure crops. Then B, crop waste. In this point you have to use the, after harvesting of crops, the remaining material, that is waste material, is used as a manure, like crop residue, then stubbles, then roots of cereal, pulses and oilseed crops, then fodder crops, sugarcane strash, groundnut husk and shell, soybean straw or store, etc. These are the crop waste, which are after harvesting the crop or after removing the economic part of the plant, the remaining material, that is called as waste material. This is used as a manure in other crops. Okay. Then agro-industrial waste. It includes the oil cakes. After extraction of oil from the oilseed crops, the remaining material, by using this material, oil cakes are prepared, and it is used as a feed additive to the animals. Then paddy husk also used, or paddy bran. It is used for preparation of rice bran oil. Then cotton waste, bagasse, molasses, sawdust, fruits and vegetable waste. These are the waste from agro-industrial region, and it is used as a manure. Then compost. By using the waste material, the compost are prepared. There are two types of compost: rural compost and urban compost. In the rural compost, it includes NADP, vermicompost and phosphocompost, and in the urban compost, kitchen waste, post-eating waste, etc. These are included in the compost. Then animal and human waste. You have to use the animal waste like cow dung, urine, etc., or human waste, that is sewage and sludge. In human excreta, it includes the sludge and sewage, and in animal waste, it includes the dung and urine of domestic animals. Then poultry dropping, fish excreta, biogas slurry, byproducts of slaughterhouse like bone meal, meat meal, fish meal, skin meal, horn meals, okay, meat. These are the animal waste. It is also used as a manure to the different crops. Okay. Then third component, that is the biofertilizers. These components also included in the organic sources, that is biofertilizers. Biofertilizers means the preparation containing the live or latent cells of beneficial microorganisms, okay, which improve the soil fertility, that is called as biofertilizers. It includes the Rhizobium, Azotobacter, PSB, Azolla, blue-green algae, then Trichoderma, VAM, vesicular herbascular, mycorrhiza. These are the biofertilizers which are also used for different crops for seed treatment purpose, okay, which also improve the soil fertility and which increases the beneficial microorganism into the soil. These are the biofertilizers, okay. Then in this exercise, you have to calculate the quantity of urea, SSP and MOP required for growing 1 hectare soybean crop, okay. In first year or in second year, you all learn the problems, fertilizers of problem, okay. You have to calculate the quantity of NPK required for the growing out 1 hectare soybean crop. You have to calculate the quantity for 1 hectare area, also for 2 hectare area, okay. This is the assignment for you. Then see the exercise number 11. This is a very short exercise. Title of this exercise is Study of Water Management in Soybean Crop. Water management in soybean crop. The objectives of this exercise is to know the irrigation layout for the soybean, to know the critical growth stages of the soybean crop, and to know the water requirement of soybean, okay. Soybean, this crop is mostly grown in Kharif season, okay, and in due to the growing of Kharif season, no need of irrigations. Water is not available, then no need of irrigations. Suppose the water is available, then you have to apply the water at critical growth stages of the crop. Okay. Water requirement of crop is defined as the quantity of water regardless of its sources required by a crop in a given period of time for its maturity, that is called as water requirement. The total water requirement of Kharif soybean is about 30 to 35 hectare centimeter of water depth in 3 to 4 irrigation. The total water requirement of soybean is 30 to 35 centimeter and water depth is 3 to and required 3 to 4 irrigations. Okay. Then layout, soybean is grown under rainfed or under irrigated conditions. For irrigation purpose, Sara layout should be done by maintaining the proper length according to the slope of the field. Okay, for irrigated crop you have to prepare the saras by using Sara yantra, okay, according to the slope of the field. This is the layout of this crop. Then scheduling of irrigation to the soybean crop. For obtaining the optimum crop yield, it is very necessary to work out an efficient and economic irrigation schedules for water use under any given set of agroclimatic conditions. There are several approaches for scheduling of irrigations which are based on the crop, soil type, atmosphere and plant water relations. The important approaches are as below. The important approaches, irrigation approaches for the soybean crop. The approaches, there are three important approaches in that. First, that is critical growth stage approach, or it is also called as physiological approach. Then second, soil moisture depletion approach, and third one is IWCPE, means irrigation water cumulative pan evaporation approach, or it is also called as climatological approach. First is the critical growth stage approach. In that, important critical growth stages of the soybean crop. Critical growth stages means moisture sensitive stage. In this stage, the plant required water. Without the water, it affects on the crop yield. Okay, so it is called as critical growth stages, or it is also called as moisture sensitive stages. There are four important critical growth stages of soybean crop. First is seedling stage, it is also called as early vegetative stage. Second one is branching stage, third one is flowering stage, and fourth one is pod formation and grain filling stage. Seedling stage, which comes 50 to 30 days after sowing. Branching stage 25 to 35 days after sowing. Flowering stage, which comes 35 to 15 days after sowing, and pod formation and grain filling stage, which comes 50 to 60 days after sowing. Okay. In that, the important critical growth stage in soybean is branching stage. In the critical growth stages, there are four important critical growth stages out of second stage, that is branching stage, is most important stage in soybean crop. Okay. These are the important critical growth stages of soybean. This is exercise number 11, study of water management in soybean crop. Okay. Thank you.